Hey everybody, I'm in a lot of pain right now. My face got very swollen. I'll be back very soon. In the morning I can't sleep, my jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight, I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down.
It causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia like Alzheimer's disease. Jake Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. So I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure and can cause bruising of the...
Jake Paul's boxing dream collapses as his jaw is shattered. His teeth are gone. And Gervonta Davis watches from the sidelines with a mocking smile. The real shock isn't just that Anthony Joshua knocked him out. It's how brutally fast the illusion fell apart, and how this moment could permanently reshape Jake's future in the sport. This was more than a simple knockout. It was a public breakdown. When Jake Paul crashed to the canvas for the fourth time and couldn't get up again, the fight was over. But the consequences were only beginning. Stay tuned, because shortly I'll reveal the hidden damage that went unnoticed during the live broadcast and explain why this defeat is far more serious than the record books will ever show.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it.
Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's gonna get what they finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
Hours later, Jake Paul posts the X-ray images. His jaw split cleanly in 2 spots, titanium plates ready for surgery, and several teeth missing. And somehow, the caption is even more shocking than the images themselves, as he calls out Canelo from his hospital bed. Don't scroll away, because the reaction to that single post sent shockwaves through the boxing world. The call-out went viral for all the wrong reasons. Fans mocking, fighters shaking their heads, and insiders quietly confirming what they already suspected. Anthony Joshua's power is no joke, and Jake Paul had walked straight into an entirely new level of violence. In just a moment, I'll explain why doctors believe this type of injury could dramatically affect everything moving forward.
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out. And titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Drinking every night and doing all this and beat you.
Yeah, it's bad.
If you look at the fight, he was much slower. He only threw a hook.
Anthony Joshua delivered a devastating punch that sent Jake Paul crashing to the canvas, fracturing his jaw in 2 places and breaking several teeth. Gervonta Davis joined in on the amusement, along with the wider boxing community, sharing a meme about Jake Paul. That perfectly captured his reaction, as seen above.
He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga, and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real.
Times pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round,
Jake engaged for a clinch. AJ moved back and started punching.
To Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. Question is though, what kind of recovery process to be
down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2 when he caught him.
Behind the scenes, the situation was far more severe than Instagram made it appear. Emergency surgery continued late into the night, with surgeons working intensely to stabilize fractures normally seen in car crashes, not a boxing match. And if that sounds exaggerated, stay tuned. The medical details are truly shocking. Jake Paul spent 4 hours on the operating table, with titanium plates installed, as doctors privately confirmed that the final right-hand punch had shattered both sides of Jake's mandible at once. A strike of that magnitude instantly validated every expert warning given before the fight. This is where the story turns merciless. While sympathy flowed from some quarters, Gervonta Davis watched the entire episode with pure satisfaction. To understand why Tank's reaction has split the sports world, keep reading. This is where the controversy begins. Sources close to Davis revealed that the hospital images didn't scare him at all. They entertained him. He laughed, replayed the knockout, and repeated one line over and over. Jake Paul was never cut out for real boxing. And before judging that reaction, consider the long history of bad blood that led up to it.
Hey guys, I'm okay. Just pray for me, alright?
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything, doesn't do any promotion.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. Question is though, what kind of recovery process would be
AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
And doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, the biggest check of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
This rivalry didn't start with Anthony Joshua. It began months earlier when Jake Paul called out Gervonta, Tank, Davis, publicly mocked him, questioned his professionalism, and set up a fight that was scheduled for Miami. Don't go anywhere. The cancellation of that bout explains everything unfolding now. When legal issues forced the fight to be called off, Jake Paul didn't stay silent. He unleashed a social media barrage against Tank, labeling him garbage, unprofessional, and worse. That moment created a debt Tank has been waiting to collect ever since. So when Joshua delivered what everyone had warned about, Tank didn't see tragedy, he saw validation. Memes went viral, private messages leaked, and the boxing world erupted over whether this was cruel or deserved. The debate continues for one reason. Some fans argue that Tank crossed the line mocking a man with a wired jaw and missing teeth. while others insist Jake Paul built his entire brand on disrespect and finally faced the consequences. And if you think that's the end, the recovery timeline makes it even harsher. Doctors caution that bilateral jaw fractures like Jake's don't heal quickly, at least 6 to 8 months before any contact, possibly a full year. He'll need extensive dental reconstruction, implants, bone grafts, and a long road back to normal. This is where Jake Paul's career reaches a crossroads. For the first time, Jake sounded uncertain, admitting he must fight smaller opponents, that heavyweight was a mistake, and that he's stepping back. Those words hit harder than any punch, signaling a major mental shift. Even Anthony Joshua acknowledged Jake Paul after the fight, saying he was tougher than expected and absorbed punches that would have knocked out real heavyweights. That respect, ironically, made the loss cut even deeper, because courage doesn't erase reality. Now the boxing world is left with a burning question. Does this mark the end of Jake Paul's experiment in elite boxing, or will it ignite a revenge story that pulls him back into danger once he heals? Don't go anywhere. The answer might already be taking shape. Gervonta Tank Davis remains champion, still trending, still keeping his name linked to Jake Paul's collapse. The cancelled fight now looms larger than ever, because if Jake returns, that shadow is waiting. In the meantime, memes continue to spread, debates rage on, and the image that won't fade is Jake Paul smiling before the fight, then lying broken afterward. A single before and after frame tells the entire story. This wasn't merely a loss. It was a warning shot to every influencer who thinks confidence can replace consequence. And as Jake Paul recovers quietly while Tank laughs in public, boxing proves once again, reality always comes back to hit you.